there's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Jungkook was not an orphan. He had a mother, strong, sharp, and feared by many. She was a ghost catcher, like all their ancestors before them. For generations, their family hunted real restless spirits, trapped them, and sent them away. But Jungkook, he had wanted a different life. When he turned 18, he left his small hometown, moved to Seoul, and cut ties with the dangerous world. He studied, got a degree, and became an elementary school teacher, someone who smiled at children instead of chasing spirits in the dark. He buried his past so deep that even Taehyung didn't know. Nobody did. He doesn't want anyone to know about his past. Back to present. Jungkook stepped away from the mirror. Jungkook comes out of the bathroom and goes straight to the closet. His eyes flick to the wardrobe, scanning through the neatly folded cloth until his fingers slide into the inner lining of a coat. He pulled out a small, worn leather pouch, the kind no ordinary person would carry. It was heavy in his palm, and he could feel the faint hum of what was inside. It's not a ghost. I know the moment I saw the shadow. Ghost doesn't leave handmarks like this. His fingers brushed the red mark still lingering on the back of his neck. You promised you had never go back. I'm not going back. I'm just protecting him. That's what everyone would say before doing something. This is different. This is Taehyung. I can't lose him. Jungkook tightened his grip on the pouch. His jaw clenched. If something wants him, it will have to go through me first. Whether he tucked the pouch in his pocket and left the room. His footsteps quiet but heavy. The smell of toasted bread and sizzling eggs filled the air. Taehyung stood by the stove, wearing an oversized white t-shirt and humming softly. Jungkook stepped into the kitchen, pouch still in his hand, his eyes narrowing slightly as he watched Taehyung moving around. Sit down, babe. Breakfast will be ready soon. Give me 2 minutes. Without answering him, Jungkook was lost in his thought and staring at something. You're staring. What's wrong? Still thinking about your dream, babe? Something like that. But no matter what you say, it doesn't seem like a dream to me, Hein? Taehyung frowned slightly, but returned to plating the food. Jungkook's eyes never left him. He put his hand inside his pants and clenched the pouch tightly. Taehyung is only mine. I will do anything to keep it that way. He walked towards Taehyung and hugged him from behind and rested his chin on his shoulder. Smells so good, but you smell bitter. Taehyung chuckled, pretending to focus on flipping the omelette. Careful, or you will make me burn the breakfast. Then we will eat burnt breakfast as long as it's with you. I don't care. Sit, I will bring it to you. Jungkook obeyed, but his gaze never left Taehyung. His hand rested on the pouch inside his pocket, thumb rubbing over its worn fabric absent-mindedly. I have walked away from that old life, but if it comes back for me, I will protect him, no matter what. Taehyung set the plates down and sat across from him. Eat before it gets cold. Jungkook took a bite, smiling warmly. You know, these tastes like you, hot takes like you. That's because I put with you every day. Jungkook laughed, leaning over the table to steal a quick kiss. And I'm letting you go. 1 hour later, the sound of running water came faintly from the bathroom upstairs. Taehyung was taking bath. Jungkook slipped the small pouch from his pocket, the fabric rough and familiar beneath his fingers. Without a sound, he stepped out of the house and walked to the front gate. The air outside was still, only the faint rustle of leaves breaking the quiet. This is where the two dogs stand every night, watching, barking. He stopped at the exact spot the dogs always stood. Kneeling down, he pressed his palm to the ground for a brief moment, feeling the cold vibration that most people would miss. From the pouch, he pulled a thin red string with practiced movements. He tied one end to the gate hinge and stretched it across to the other side. Securing it tightly, the string looked ordinary to anyone passing by, but to him, it was a silent warning and a trap. Next, he took out a small one piece of white chalk. Crouching low, he began to draw faint symbols on the corner of the gate, swift, precise strokes, the kind that would fade to the eye. When he was done, Jungkook stepped back, brushing the chalk dust off his finger. His face was calm now. With a quiet exhale, he slipped the pouch back into his pocket and turned towards the house. Taehyung stepped out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around his neck, droplets still clinging to his skin. His eyes swept toward the room, empty. Jungkook, he called softly, but there was no answer. Taehyung reached for his phone on the nightstand and strolled to Yoongi's contact, pressing call. It rang twice before the familiar, slightly annoyed voice answered. Hi, where are you? Why haven't you come yet? I am in Daeho. Daeho? Then why aren't you here already? It's just an hour from the village. That's the problem. I can't get in. The main bridge, that only one that connects your village to the outside, it's gone. Gone? What do you mean? Like blocked? No, like someone shuttered it. Pieces everywhere. It's not an accident, it looked like deliberate. There was a pause. Taehyung's finger tightened around the phone. Hein, that's not possible. No one can destroy the bridge overnight. I know, that's why I'm saying something wrong here, and until I figure out another way I'm stuck outside the village and you both are stuck inside the village. Taehyung sighed heavily, and that was the only thing Taehyung could do now before he hung up. He threw his phone lightly on the bed and ran his hand through his damp hair. At night, the room was dim, lit only by the faint golden glow of the small lamp on the nightstand. Outside, the crickets sang softly, the stillness of the countryside wrapping around the house like a blanket. Taehyung lay back against the headboard, hair still slightly damp from the earlier shower, eyes heavy but with sleep. Jungkook lay down next to him, head turning just enough to read Taehyung's profile, the curve of his jaw, the slight crease in his brow of fatigue. Jungkook's lips curled into a faint, knowing smile. He shifted closer, his hand rubbing against Taehyung's arm with deliberate gentleness. Tae, fingers ghosting over Taehyung's hand, make love to me. Taehyung blinked, gaze turning towards him in surprise. You're tired, Cookie. You should rest. We should rest today. Jungkook shaking his head slightly, eyes locking with Taehyung's. I want you. I want to feel you holding me tonight. Please, Tae. I love the way you take care of me, and I want to sleep in your arms. I sleep better that way. It's the only thing that can put me to sleep without any disturbance from outside world. Taehyung's lips softened into a smile. He leaned forward, pressing a slow, lingering kiss to Jungkook's forehead. Then, let me give you that, my love. Jungkook's eyes fluttered shut as Taehyung's lips trailed down to meet his. The kiss was patient, unhurried, every touch deliberate, every movement meant to tell Jungkook that he was cherished. Taehyung guided him gently, hands never rough, voice always soft when he whispered his name. And though Jungkook melted into every kiss and touch, his mind quietly thought something. The more tired you are, my love, the deeper you will sleep. That's what I want. By the time Taehyung finally held him close afterward, Jungkook could feel the weight in his husband's breathing. The plan was working. The clock ticked quietly in the darkness. Taehyung's steady breathing filled the room, but Jungkook's eyes were open, staring at the faint outline of the window. Then it started, the sharp, angry barking of the dog outside. There it is again, same time like always. Jungkook slipped out of the bed without a sound, bare feet touching the cool floor. He walked to the window, careful not to wake Taehyung, and slowly pulled the curtain aside. The dogs were at the gate, snarling their teeth bared, their bodies tense as if ready to attack something unseen. Little puppies, let's see what will you do. Stay back, don't come closer. This is your warning. Jungkook thought, though he knew they couldn't hear him. One of the dogs lunged forward, and in the next instant, its body seemed to crumble. The black fur dissolved into grey dust and floated in the air. The wind suddenly blew hard, swirling the ash, turning it to nothing. Jungkook's mouth grew wide. Another dog leaped towards the gate, and the same thing happened. For flesh and bone are breaking apart like dry leaves, scattered by a force too strong to fight. Bye bye, you. Yes, now there is no barking, no howling, only the faint rustle of leaves in the trees. Few minutes silent. It was a man, tall, his outline dark against the faint moonlight. He didn't move quickly, but didn't hide. Instead, he stood in the open head slightly startled, and his eyes sharp, cold, almost glowing in the night, looked directly onto Jungkook. It chill ran down Jungkook's spine, but that fear turned into smirk as he saw the man looking deeply into him. He sees me, he knows I'm watching, so you finally showed yourself. The man's dead stare didn't waver, but then, without warning, a thick white smoke began to curl around his body, twisting, moving like living threads. It crept up from the ground, wrapping his legs, chest, and arm. Jungkook didn't flinch. Instead, he reached under the small table near the window, pulling out a small glass of water filled with musty water. Tiny grains floated inside, swirling faintly in the moonlight. He popped the cork, whispered something under his breath. The water arched to the cold air, droplets scattering as soon as it touched the figure. The white smoke burst apart like shattering glass. The man staggered, his eyes widened for a second. Without wasting any time, Jungkook threw a stone-shaped object at the man, and as soon as the object touched the man, the object turned into powder and sprinkled on the man, and the next minute the man's body crumpled, hitting the ground with a heavy thud, unmoving. Too easy, too weak. Jungkook glanced back over his shoulder towards the bed. Taehyung was still there, lying on his side, his breathing deep and even. God, good, he's asleep. He won't know I'm gone. Jungkook moved slightly, walking out of the bedroom door. His steps were light but quick, carrying him through the dim hallway. In a moment he reached the main gate. The iron latch ground softly as he pushed it open. A rush of night air brushed his face. He stepped out, the ground crunching under his feet. The man lay there, sprawled on the dead pot. His head was turned onto one side, his hair partly covering his face. The moonlight revealed pale skin, the faint mark almost like burn, where the powder water had touched him. Jungkook stood over him, staring down without a trace of fear. Now let's see who you really are, head. Jungkook slowly knelt down beside the man. The moonlight made the man's skin look even paler. With one hand, Jungkook brushed the messy hair away from his face. Jungkook's eyes narrowed. Well, look who we have here. Taehyung's, my beloved husband's crazy eggs. Without wasting time, Jungkook dragged the limp body to a thick tree nearby. He went into the house to get a rope, returned with a long rope, and tied the man tightly. The knots were firm and unforgiving. Jungkook stepped back, arm crossed, smirking. Let's see what will you do now, honey. You thought you could come here and scare us, too bad for you. He leaned in close, his voice low but sharp. He is mine. I am his husband and I will do to go any extent for him. Jungkook gave a mocking chuckle, titling his head. Even if means dealing with pests like you in the middle of the night. He straightened up, giving the unconscious man one last cold look. Sleep well, because when you wake up, it won't be pretty. The soft morning light slipped through the thin curtains. The air was unusually filled with distant murmurs, faint voices blending together. Taehyung's brows furrowed as he opened his eyes. This was strange. The village, it was always quite too quiet. He tightened his head slightly and felt the warm weight against his head. Jungkook was curled close, breathing softly, his hair still messy from sleep. Taehyung brushed his fingers through Jungkook's hair gently, speaking softly. Cookie, wake up. Just 5 more minutes. No, listen, there is noise outside. That cuts Jungkook's attention. He slowly lifted his head from Taehyung's chest, eyes still heavy with sleep. People here? That's new. Taehyung nodded, already sitting up. Come, let's see. They walked to the window together. Taehyung pulled the curtain aside and both of them looked out. A small crowd had gathered near the old tree at the end of the yard. Villagers were talking in hushed but urgent tone, some pointing, others covering their mouths in shock. And then Taehyung froze. Is that someone tied up? Why would someone be tied to a tree in the middle of the village? Jungkook struck lightly, hiding his smirk. No idea. Let's go see, love. They stepped out of the house together. The morning air was cool, but the tension in the village was thick. Every step they took towards the tree made the murmurs grow louder. Villagers stepped aside, I darting between them and the man tied to the trunk. When they finally reached the spot, Taehyung's heart sunk, his eyes going wide at the sight of the unconscious man. It's him. What is he doing in this village? Jungkook met Taehyung's gaze, his tone protective but soft. What are we going to do if we find out what's he doing in this village? Leave it at that. The crowd has grown larger now. Curious whispers fill the air as a few of the men stepped forward and tied the ropes, binding the strangers to the tree. The unconscious man slumped to the ground. Someone quickly fetched a small bowl of water and splashed it over his face. The man coughed, blinking rapidly as his senses returned. Slowly his eyes focused, first on the crowd, then on the two figures standing a short distance away. His expression shifted instantly, anger raged. His jaw tightened as his eyes locked onto Taehyung and then flickered to the one beside him, Jungkook. Before anything could be said, Taehyung instantly stepped in front of Jungkook as if shielding him. His hand reached back, grabbing Jungkook's wrist. Come inside, Cookie. You don't need to be near him. Someone has done with him a good thing instead of us. I don't want to see him for another minute. But Jungkook's gaze didn't waver from the man on the ground. His lips curved into a cold, almost amused smile. Give me 1 minute, Taekook. 1 minute, please, Hank. Recurrently, Taehyung let go of his hand. Jungkook walked forward slowly. His boots crunched on the dry ground, each step deliberate, predatory. The man tried to sit up straighter, masking his unease with a glare, but Jungkook could already see through it. Jungkook crouched down in front of the man, his voice low enough that only the two of them could hear. He reached out suddenly, pulling the man into a brief, suffocating hug, not out of affection but as a show of dominance. Listen carefully. Taehyung is mine, not just today, not just tomorrow, always. I am not someone you can scare. I am not someone you can outsmart. And if you even think you can take him away from me, I will do far worse than just knock you unconscious. I will rip the soul from your body and scatter what's left so far away that no one would remember you ever existed. Do you understand me? He pulled back slightly, his dark eyes boring into the man's, a faint smile tugging at his lips. So be smart, walk away, forget him, because if you don't, the next time you see me will be your last. Without waiting for a reply, Jungkook stood and walked back toward Taehyung. He slipped his hand into Taehyung's, their fingers locking naturally. What did you tell him? I want this handsome man now, so don't come in front of him. Taehyung shakes his head with a chuckle. They turned towards the house and walked into together, the door closing behind them. The man sat there for a moment, his body still tense. His throat felt dry, and he swallowed hard. The sound in his own ears. The look in his eyes, it wasn't just a thrill. He meant everywhere. He's not like me. He's worse, stronger, smarter, more dangerous. If I stay, if I try again, I won't just lose Taehyung. I will lose my life. No, I can't fight with him. Not this one, not Jungkook. His fist clenched, but it wasn't in defense anymore. It was in defeat. The fire in his eyes dimmed, replaced by a cold, reluctant understanding.